Can you believe it? It is time for tip-off. College basketball starts. Brian, Shawn, Zach Dosch here with you. And Zach, kind of hard to believe we're at this point already. It's kind of wild to believe that we got to get this thing going.
It's here, and we're excited about it. I think there's, about 185 Division I games tonight. Not all Division I versus Division I, but 185 games regardless. And so a lot to keep track of tonight, so should be pretty fun.
A couple of high major games to watch. Kansas City plays at Minnesota, obviously, and then Western Illinois, Nebraska. These early season matchups, they may not seem like a huge deal, and we don't really know what to expect out of a lot of these teams, but if you can steal a game against a P5 or even play it close, it's huge for the league long term.
Well, I think both those games that you pointed out are going to be really interesting because they're definitely winnable for both Summit League teams. You have Kansas City playing a brand new coach, Ben Johnson out of Minnesota. I think they actually stand a pretty good chance in that game, and then also Western Illinois going to Nebraska. Sort of the same thing, where Nebraska is still trying to get traction, and Kansas and Western Illinois is a pretty good team, building off of their success last year. So it should be really interesting. Couple nice games to start out the year.
And then two kind of mid-major games to watch at least right away, and then there's more obviously throughout the week. But South Dakota State hosting Bradley, Valley Summit matchup, and then in North Dakota, the game that you're going to be at tonight, hosting Milwaukee and one of the top recruits in the nation. It's hard to know what to really expect out of these contests.
Yeah, give a lot of credit for Bradley to traveling to South Dakota State. Not a lot of teams want to take on that game, partly because South Dakota State is so good, but that'll give us a really good indication of where both those programs are at. And then, Milwaukee at UND. Not a whole lot of times that a top 10 recruit in the nation comes into Grand Forks, and so we'll see that tonight. We'll get to see what an NBA player looks like against really good college players, and so I know I'm personally looking forward to that. I've been spending a lot of time on that prep, and so that's a great way to kick off the year.
What do you make of UND? They have some returners back, but there's a lot of new pieces on the roster. I think them, along with Omaha and a lot of teams in the Summit League that have gone through some changes in the roster, we just don't know a lot until we actually see them on the court.
Yeah, I'm really trying to reserve judgment until we get a couple games in because, they have some good players. It's just a question of how good they are and how good all the pieces come together. Coach Sather has kind of done this a couple times where he's brought a new group together and had some success last year, getting to 8-8 in the conference with no preseason, really no non-conference schedule. So it was really impressive to see what he did. And sort of the same thing again this year. I know he's kind of getting sick and tired of it, but the one thing that's nice about tonight is this is the first Division I non-conference home game in the Sather area 3 years in. Unbelievable, right? So, they're definitely making strides. But I think this team is starting to take the shape that he wants to see too. It's sort of being formed in his own image, and I know he's really excited about that.
Also got Eastern Washington coming up at home, got Dixie State at home, some other D1 games, so that is good to see how the schedule can be challenging. I think getting home games can be challenging. We've seen that. Well, Zach, we appreciate you stopping by, and we'll see you down the road.
Thanks for having me.